beat out Nolan Smith as a more important football player on Vic's roster. And here, I can't believe this kid is who he is, and I'll admit it. I thought that was kind of a throwaway pick at 3. I did. This has turned out and turning into something good here. How many people believe that Jalyx Hunt is a more important piece to Vic's defense as we get into the start of the regular season here? I do. And so this first round pick, he'll be an important piece in the pass rushing, no doubt, but he's not a focal point and a building block on this team. So a first round draft choice is not going to be. Hey, I want to show you something here. This always turns out to be kind of harsh talk. But how many people believe that Darius Cooper is not getting a fair shot at starting in the number 3 spot because the Eagles drafted Mekhi Lemon 17th overall? How many people believe that? I do. That Cooper's not going to get a fair look to be the opening day starter because they drafted Mekhi Lemon in the first round. Okay. Well, that's not a 20th overall. Thank you. Okay. We all look at it like that. That Darius Cooper is not going to get a fair look to start. Politics of the league. Jalyx Hunt here. Jalyx Hunt. If Jalyx Hunt was a first round pick, Nolan Smith wouldn't be on the team anymore. But because Nolan Smith is the first pick, he's getting more opportunity. He's not a better player. Hunt's past him. In my opinion, he's past him. And he's elevated. He shows up every day. Led the team in sacks, interceptions a year ago. He's around the ball. He's a ball hawk. He needs to improve on his run defense more. Sure. His durability is good. Really good compared to the other guy. But Nolan Smith is still going to get the chance. If Jonathan Grenard was healthy, Nolan Smith would still start over Jalyx Hunt. Why? Because Nolan Smith's a first-round pick. That's how the Eagles operate. Now, the asterisk in this is Vic. Vic is the asterisk. But how many times does he tell you, hey, that's a Howie thing? So that's going to be interesting. And let me tell you this. If you get Nolan Smith and Jalyx Hunt in that opener, and those are your 2 edge rushers, the guy who's more productive until Gennard comes back, there's going to be your starter. Or maybe not because of the politics. You'll find out your politics in your organization. If Hunt plays 3 games and outplays Nolan Smith and Gennard comes back, I'll bet you anything they start Smith. It's the same reason that Cooper won't be the opening day starter at wide receiver 3. The politics of the game. It's a thing. It's a thing. He's going to need, Jalyx Hunt's going to need the entire season for the Eagles to move completely off of Nolan Smith. If he has kind of a decent year, Smith will probably be on the team at 27. If Hunt has an exceptional year, there's no way in hell Nolan Smith's on that football team. They'll move him in the offseason. Nolan Smith has been given every opportunity to start over Hunt, but Hunt has shown more upside. You're not, again, add into politics now. For some reason, the front office is behind Hunt. The front office is behind Smith. The front office is not behind the lesser drafted guy. The coaching staff is behind Hunt. That's not how that works. The front office will never be behind a lesser drafted guy. You're watching it play out at wideout. What do you think? They situationally do it by position? No, they do it by draft choice. If Howie Roseman, according to John, is in charge of the roster, he's also in charge of who you're going to play and who you're going to play ahead of, who's going to start, who's not going to start, and most explicitly on the offensive side. You've got to add that in to, like, Sills. Darius Cooper has been so good in camp, and he deserves an opportunity. No, he doesn't. Well, Sills, the guy Lemon's on the sidelines. I don't think you quite understand how this works. It works like this in Arizona, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Detroit. You're missing the point. I think Hunt will be in front of Nolan on the depth chart as the season wears down, depending on what Grenard is. Hey, by the way, you want to know a real problem? If Nolan Smith and Jalyx Hunt are your starters, and Jonathan Grenard's your third guy coming off the bench at $25 million, that's a problem. That's a problem. If that guy turns into like low reps for the first part of the season and he's not very productive, and you've got to put Smith and Hunt out there in front of him, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign this offseason. If that plays out like that, and I'm not saying it will, but if that plays out like that, guy's been missing too. He's MIA. Now, of all the guys hurt, him and Smith, Devontae Smith, those guys are pros. They should be able to get back onto a field and know how to prep themselves for an upcoming season. So you're not really worried about guys like that. But for a guy who's only had one injury-free season in 6 years, and he's coming off a low production season in a shoulder injury, I don't know. Let's see how that plays out. By the way, Howie Roseman, in his signs at Edge, Jalen Phillips, good. Bryce Huff, not great. Hassan Reddick, great. Let's see what this is. That's Grenard spots to lose with that contract. If he's healthy, he better not be getting outplayed. Yeah. Yes. Nolan Smith or Jalyx Hunt beats out Jonathan Grenard because of injuries, not ready to play, and he doesn't have a productive season. That won't be a very good sign. Like if Grenard turns out to be a $25 million backup, you better hope you win the Super Bowl. Because then you could justify it. Well, he gets hurt at the beginning of the year. You know, he had a rough offseason. He had injuries to his shoulders. He played. You know, he still contributed. And we'll see what he does next year. So you could go down that lane. You could go down there. Yeah. I think Jalyx Hunt has turned out to be more of a important player in Vic's piece as you go forward here and as you're going to build your football team. To me, Jonathan Grenard, Jalyx Hunt, Smith as your rotation piece, Milton, or Amaro Jomo, Jalen Carter, and Davis. It's a pretty good front. Big Marsh, another Nakobe Dean situation. Don't get used to Smith. He won't be here. Well, in my opinion, Marsh, I think Hunt's out. I think he's elevated himself above him now. If you're being honest with yourselves, if you're the Eagle organization, the only thing that is still in Smith's favor is that he was a 1. Howie's got to justify that. Hey, remember something. Howie Roseman, he's going to be able to justify that 1 not working with this. Well, Hunt covered. He covered that 1. Yeah, that's how you look at it. Like I told you about what they did with RG3. That same draft, I believe in the same draft. Kyle, fact check me on this. I believe in that same draft that they got RG3. I think they got Kirk Cousins, like in the 5th round, because they hedged their bets. That was Kyle. That was Mike Shanahan, I believe. I agree. Draft pedigree usually matters more than anything, but Howie likes nothing more than his gamble picks working out. It's why Mulata's here and why they didn't try to salvage Dillard. Dillard wasn't good, dude. That was a bum pick. He wasn't good.